Good morning and welcome, everyone. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Scott Wagner, 1st District At-Large Councilman for Kansas City, and it is with great pleasure that I get to welcome everyone here today for this exciting announcement. You know, Kansas City has a rich history intertwined with the history of U.S. agriculture. With over 100,000 farms in the region, the protection and expansion of agriculture in our state is critical to the success of our region. And we as a city must be concerned with food security for our urban population. Kansas City is about to become the proud home of a new 100,000 square foot greenhouse farm right in downtown. Bright Farms is taking an important step in advancing the urban agricultural movement in the city and this region. And this farm will bring food that is fresh, food that is healthy, food that is sustainable to our community. It will create jobs for our community, and it will propel Kansas City forward as one of the greenest cities in the country, and we are thrilled that Paul Lightfoot has chosen to invest in the Berkley riverfront development. We appreciate that, Paul. Thank you. So without further ado, let me bring forward our first speaker, Mayor Sly James. Mayor James.
You know, it's very kind of everybody to make sure that I had finally the opportunity to speak before Congressman Cleaver. You know, I always feel so inadequate following him, but this time, brother, you got to follow me. Good morning, everybody, and thanks for being here for this exciting announcement. It's kind of fitting that we're here talking about a greenhouse and growing things when the only thing that we seem to be growing are snowballs right now. But first, I want to do one thing, and I want to make sure that I get this in there. I want to give a shout out to Troy Schulte and the people who work for this city for the tremendous job they did over the weekend in getting and attacking the snow. One of the reasons I think that Mr. Lightfoot wanted to come to this city is because there is a new vibrancy and there is a new attitude, and that attitude starts first and foremost in this building with the people who work here. So I really want to thank Councilman Wagner for everything that he's done and all of our council colleagues, because working together we've been able to get quite a few things done. The announcement today shows what happens when you remain committed to a worthy goal. This city has been looking for creative and comprehensive ways to develop the riverfront area for years now, and this is really something very special. And the tenacity of Congressman Cleaver and Councilman Wagner, city staff, Michael Collins at the Port Authority, and all the folks working there, they've shown that all that hard work really does pay off. I also want to thank the people at Bright Farms who were instrumental in bringing this concept to this area, something that is extremely unique. And the CEO of Bright Farms, Mr. Paul Lightfoot, what an innovator. You know, that's what this city is about, is innovation. And I think that might be what attracted him here, is the fact that he felt that we were innovative, he feels innovative. Those two things go together. It's another step that shows how far we've come and yet again, how far we still have to go. I'm honored, absolutely honored and thrilled that he chose Kansas City as the site for this greenhouse farm. And frankly, I'm looking forward to standing next to him sometime when it's warmer out and we can actually eat something grown at the greenhouse farm, and making more announcements about the creative future of this city and the impact that this project is having on our city. Senator Holzman, thank you very much for your work at the state legislature on the legislation encouraging urban agriculture. And I just want to say, keep it up. You're doing a great job. And Representative Dunn, your first year has had to have been very exciting with the culmination of this project. And I'm glad that you're there to work with Senator Holzman on behalf of this city. Before becoming an elected official, Randy Dunn worked in the city's planning department, so I know that he has a special sense of what this project coming to fruition means. This is a multifaceted project and it's a tremendous asset to our community. And it's going to be an asset in several ways. Not only does it breathe new life into the riverfront area and that portion of our city that's been somewhat underutilized. But it's also an important step in solving some of the issues that plague us in other parts of the city, such as food desert and not having access to some very fresh foods and fruits that are needed to have a truly healthy community. This is going to go a long way in addressing that problem. The access to fresh and wholesome food simply shouldn't be as difficult as it is for people in this community. A 100,000 square foot greenhouse farm that's able to grow crops and meet the fresh vegetable consumption needs of about 5,000 Kansas Cityans can't be ignored. It's a tremendous asset. It's great. It's going to have far-reaching effects. It's yet another attempt that we are making to try to make sure that each and every citizen of this city has access to what they need to flourish. Local food products are outstanding, but if you can't afford to buy them, it doesn't really matter. Here we're going to have local food products that are going to be not only affordable, but deliverable within 24 hours to points of sale. The projected estimates of this project show that there's going to be approximately 25 green-collar jobs. There'll be 100 or so people working on the construction project itself. And this is consistent with our city's sustainability efforts. It's consistent with our food efforts. It's consistent with our efforts to help find better and more creative ways to help develop the issues on the east side of town. And I want to make sure that everybody takes note of Mr. Lightfoot's comments in the Star over the weekend. He said, Bright Farms wanted to go to the markets that are welcoming, and Kansas City stands out as a progressive city. Everybody has rolled out a redevelopment red carpet. It does my heart good, and I'm totally honored to hear him say that about our city. We are a progressive city, and we are focusing on smart urban development and redevelopment projects. This greenhouse embodies both of those points. And I want to say thanks again to everybody who was involved in this. My friend Congressman Cleaver, Michael Collins, Mr. Lightfoot, thank you very much. Senator, Representative, and Councilman Wagner. These people do a tremendous job each and every day for this city. Sometimes we don't always understand it or appreciate it, but I do want you to know that these people are working every day to better this city, and I want to thank them for everything they've done. Thank you very much.
I'm Paul Lightfoot, the CEO of Bright Farms. It's a real pleasure to be here today. The weather makes me feel right at home. I'm from New York. I want to thank Mayor James and Congressman Cleaver and State Senator Holtzman, State Representative Dunn, Michael Collins, the CEO of the Port Authority. We wouldn't be here today without their tremendous leadership and progressive vision for the future. As Mayor James said, we could have come to many cities, and this one has been amazingly hospitable and aggressive in rolling out a red carpet and a friendly environment for a business to come in and create a local food business. And I mean that in a way that is unique relative to many cities around the country that we've seen. I want to particularly single out and thank Councilman Wagner, who has shepherded this project with our team from its inception. He is a true champion of our shared goal and is a public servant that Kansas City does well having on its side. On behalf of all Bright Farmers, that's what we call ourselves, I could not be more excited about joining this community. Missouri is justifiably proud of its agricultural heritage, and we are proud to be becoming a part of that heritage. Coming from New York as I do, Kansas City equals barbecue. That's sort of what I think about when I've traveled here in the past. But as my staff and I have gotten to know Kansas City better, we also recognize that Kansas City equals an urban agricultural hotbed. From the city market, where I had coffee this morning, to the growing urban farms movement, Kansas City is establishing itself as an urban leader. It's no wonder Kansas City was named one of America's best downtowns by Forbes magazine, and why today visitors see that Kansas City is a thriving epicenter of urban agriculture and is quickly becoming one of the greenest cities in America. This town is full of energy, inspiration, and strong political will for urban agriculture, local food, and community building. Kansas City is hot right now, and Bright Farms is hot for Kansas City. So just a real brief description of what Bright Farms is about. We're scaling up urban agriculture. We're bringing the farmers market products to supermarkets. We deliver produce from greenhouse farms like the one in this image here to supermarket shelves within hours. And we're solving a problem. In the United States, you see, on a year-round basis, most of the supermarket tomatoes are coming from Canada or from Mexico, and almost all of the year-round supermarket lettuces are coming from either Yuma, Arizona, or Salinas, California. Almost the entire economic benefit of vegetables sold in this city leave this city, leave Missouri, and leave this region, leave the country even. And by relying on vegetables shipped in from across the continent and around the world, we aren't just leaving an economic opportunity on the table. Our vegetables are less tasty, they're less nutritious, they have shorter shelf lives, and they're less safe. Having a long and complex supply chain for our food is pretty bad for us, and it's terrible for the environment. At Bright Farms, we believe that Kansas City deserves a better tomato, that you deserve produce that's safer and more nutritious, and that your families deserve tomatoes and lettuces that are bursting with flavor and grown locally by hand and with care. So today we're announcing that we're building a greenhouse farm right here in Kansas City for lettuces, tomatoes, and herbs. We're going to be replacing product that has a long and complex supply chain with products that are grown right here and within hours with a short and simple supply chain on the shelves. And here's the project by the numbers. As the mayor said, it's 100,000 square feet. That's the size of this greenhouse farm that we're building at the Berkley Riverfront development. 1 million, that's the number of pounds per year of delicious fresh produce we're going to be delivering to local supermarkets here. And 25 is the number of high-quality, permanent, green-collar jobs that we're going to be creating. All of this produce will be grown with 10 times the amount of land and 7 times the amount of water that comparable produce being shipped in consumes. And it will be thousands of miles fresher. It'll be healthier for the people, healthier for the planet, and healthier for the community. Over the next several weeks, we're going to be selecting our supermarket partner, and the grocery stores of our partner that will be selling this produce will be at the leading edge of the local food movement from a commercial perspective. We believe strongly, it's in our mission, that purchasing local foods connects us to our farmers, to our community, and to our environment. This is a community, we can tell, that truly values farmland, it truly values farmers. And together, we'd like to make Kansas City just as famous for its local baby greens as it already is for its barbecue. Thank you very much.
Let me just start out by saying there are a lot of good things going on in this city, Mr. Mayor. There is no question that we are a city to be reckoned with as we move deeper into the 21st century. But a great deal has happened to get us to this point. And one of the things is that we were dumb. Can you believe in 2013 that we tore down Wayne Minor and dug a big hole on the river and then buried it there, all of the junk? We didn't know any better. We thought it was the right thing to do at the time. And then we were fortunate enough to get the riverboats coming. I wasn't a big supporter of that, but it turned out to be a good thing. And so we started thinking about the riverfront development, and some good things happened. The Berkley Park was actually born in JJ's restaurant. It is where my wife and I took Sandy and Dick Berkley to dinner and asked if they would agree to allow us to name that park Richard L. Berkley Riverfront Park in JJ's. And then we began to move, and we weren't able to get a lot going, frankly. And then finally, it looked like we were going to get things going, and we actually offered a big tract of land down on the riverfront to a major corporation here in Kansas City. They decided not to do it. It was one of the best things happened to us when they said no. you would understand it even better if I went into detail. But I'm not going to do that. But then things happen sometimes for a reason, and having Michael Collins take over as the head of the Riverfront Development, the Port Authority, was a major move, and he continued to work to do that. And then with that kind of energy, along with what Scott Wagner's done in promoting this, and all of a sudden, people started feeling good about what we could do at the river. I had nothing whatsoever to do with bringing the Bright Farms to Kansas City. Absolutely zero. Let me make that very clear. I think Scott Wagner has been monumentally important, and to have a mayor and the council like we have with Jermaine Reed, John Sharp, as well as others who are not here, certainly made it easier. So we had some highlights, and then we had some bad parts, and now we're on our way up. I was at the game yesterday, the game, and speaking with one of the council members who we were there with, and she and I were talking, and she said, you know, I don't think the people in this country, in Kansas City, realize how we're viewed around the country. And she said, you know, we're doing so much in terms of green that we are gradually becoming the top city in the country in terms of sustainability. I mean, we have spent $125 million in the Green Impact Zone. $125 million, due in no small part to the City Council, who saw the vision and got the money to allow the administration to run, along with, of course, Mark. And so we find ourselves here today with something that I think is going to just further push us into the lead, and that's having the Bright Farms coming into Kansas City. Mr. Lightfoot, thank you for your willingness to come to this community. And the one thing I think we're going to make sure that people understand is, and they probably are understanding it now, green attracts green. A green community will attract green dollars. And that's what's happening here. When people realize that Kansas City is a city already committed to sustainability, I think people are going to want to do exactly what Bright Farms is doing. We want to be in a community where people are progressively minded. And that's going to happen more and more in Kansas City. And the good news is that we are fortunate to have people who are also enlightened, as our senator and state representative they may not want to admit it, but I will. They are certainly the enlightened part of the General Assembly, and so I think that in the days, weeks, months, and years to come, there are going to be many, many more announcements. And when those things happen, I think we can look back at this time and say, you know, there was a trigger, and I think this is the trigger. So congratulations, Mr. Mayor. Thank you very much, and thank you for all the hard work you did, Councilman Wagner.
Thank you. 3 years ago, the Missouri General Assembly passed and Governor Nixon signed the House Bill 1848, which created the Joint Committee on Urban Agriculture. Over the past 3 years, we've had hearings all over the state. We've had national figures come into the state of Missouri and talk about what's been going on in urban agriculture and what are the possibilities of what this could yield in terms of our health and carbon reductions. This is the reality of all of those conversations coming to fruition in Kansas City. Today is my birthday, and I could not have a greater birthday present than this announcement. My wife asked me what to get, and I said, don't worry about it, I'm all good. There's a Native American proverb that says, we do not inherit the earth, we borrow it from our children. Today, with this announcement, we take a small step towards reestablishing responsible stewardship with the land. Food, water, energy are three essential fundamental elements for our continued prosperity. A localized food source improves our national security while reducing our use of heavy pesticides, preservatives, packaging wastes. It lessens the burden on our transportation infrastructure. It helps limit the carbon footprint associated with food production. And this project, and hopefully others to follow, will create jobs that cannot be outsourced while helping us to eat healthier, fresher, and better tasting foods. And that's why I support the passage of Senate Bill 228, the Urban Agriculture Act, which was the culmination of all the work that the Joint Committee did. It will encourage development, not unlike the Bright Farms, in blighted communities across the state of Missouri, not just here in Kansas City. I'm very excited for this project. I'm very grateful to Paul Lightfoot and Councilman Wagner for bringing it to us today, and I look forward to this just being the beginning, and I believe that 20 years from now we will look back on this moment and say we took the step in the right direction to make this a better place to be. Thank you.
Good morning. Again, I'm State Representative Randy Dunn, and I just want to say I'm truly excited to be here today for the announcement of Bright Farms. While Bright Farms is not in the district that I represent, I understand and see the larger picture for what it means for Kansas City. The impact of this initiative will have a great impact on the citizens that I represent. Much of the urban core is in what we call food deserts, and it is through initiatives like this that we'll be able to provide access to locally grown, fresh foods that are much more healthy for those individuals. And it would also help to address the issues of unemployment in the community. As you've heard, this will create up to 25 permanent jobs. I see this as a model that can be followed in other areas of Kansas City to, again, help address the more than 20% unemployment rate that residents in my district face in the 23rd district. Again, also looking at this, helping to provide access and to eradicate the food desert issue that we are facing. I, too, would like to thank Paul Lightfoot for coming here to Kansas City. I would like to thank Councilman Wagner, Mayor James, for your foresight on this initiative. I would like to thank Congressman Cleaver for your continued leadership as it relates to these sort of initiatives. And most certainly, I'd like to thank my colleague, Senator Holzman, for his continued leadership on these green initiatives. I'm looking to follow in his footsteps in the House, and when I get back to Jefferson City this evening, I'll be filing legislation that's a companion to the urban agricultural zone on the House side. Again, looking forward to continuing to push forward Kansas City as the greenest place in the country. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Michael Collins, President and CEO of the Port Authority. First, I want to make a statement. It took a lot of time to get where we are today. It took a lot of commissioners, previous executive directors to get where we are today. So without thanking them and their efforts and our current commission, we would not be here. Secondly, I do want to thank CEO Paul Lightfoot for coming in. This is a game changer for Kansas City, but it's a game changer because we are working collaboratively to do it. Look how many people here are in front of you today and right with you right now in the audience that have played a significant role in making sure that this project happen and making it a competitive opportunity for Kansas City. I always talk about competition. This is something that brings a supply chain effort for your local produce. This is about supply chain and sustainable development. Yes, it is about 100,000 square foot of a greenhouse, but look at what Kansas City has done today. We have created a game-changing mechanism to where we have momentum on Berkley riverfront development through a 100,000 square foot greenhouse, and it couldn't be helped with the assistance of the mayor and the rest of City Hall. Let me state that again, with the mayor's leadership and with City Hall. This was a collaborative effort. This was a collaborative effort from City Hall and the Port Authority talking about what can we do on Berkley riverfront to make a game-changing opportunity happen to build momentum. I hope everyone understands the opportunity that we have here by having an urban greenhouse on Berkley riverfront. This is an opportunity to where Kansas City gets its produce at the most freshest possibility. Like they've said earlier, having produce where you don't lose the most important vitamins that Kansas Cityans need because of travel time. We're reducing that. Bright Farms has done an exceptional job We are grateful to have them on board and have them here at Berkley Riverfront Development. And stay tuned, there will be more, but this is the one, this is the kickoff. So thank you very much.
Could we have one more round of applause for all of our speakers this morning, please? Thank you. Thank you very much. We're going to conclude this in just a moment, but I do want to point out a few other folks who did not come up to the dais today. There are folks in the urban agriculture community, folks like Catherine Kelly from Cultivate KC, Katie Nixon from, yeah, they deserve it. Katie Nixon from the University Extension and many others who have set the groundwork for this sort of work that we have today. I also have to point out Kamiko Gilmore and Rick Usher from the City Manager's Office. I've received a lot of credit today, and that is all very nice, and I'm very thankful for that. But without those two and others on our staff, we would not be here today. So I want to give them the credit that they deserve. Oh, and Carol Coe, I want to say thank you for coming out today. She's done a lot of work with East High School. She's helped set the table here today. I think what I might leave this on is my definition of luck. Luck is preparation plus opportunity. And what you have seen here today is a lot of preparation that has gone into the opportunity that Paul and Bright Farms represents. Part of that preparation also came for all the work that we've done on the council side, championed by Councilman John Sharp in the last term, that has helped set the table for what we have done today. But we've tried to do our best to prepare ourselves for you, Paul, and hopefully we've done a good job of that because we really like the opportunity, and that's a whole lot of luck for this region. So thank you very much. And I think we've got some samples, I think, in the back of what fresh lettuce and tomatoes actually mean. Do I have that?
We have a reception.
There's just food? Well,
This is a sample of what it could be.
This is a sample of what it could be, and that's good enough for me. With that, thank you all very much for being here today. Thank you again, Bright Farms. Thank you again to our dignitaries who have come here today and lent their support. Without it, we would not be here. So thank you all very much. Enjoy the rest of your day.